Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. This video, I was a little later in getting, getting this put out than I had wanted to. It's my projects that I was able to make with the February shipment of the bargain bead box. And here is the paper that came with it. As you can see, it is very, very wrinkly. My cat decided to, I had all my projects in this basket, and he decided that he liked to sleep in it. So he crammed his body into this little basket, and he slept, this was his bed for like several days. And so that he really wrinkled the crap out of my paper. But the collection this time around was called Spring Rain. I had all kinds of beautiful blues, and like copper was the collar, antique copper. This is kind of like my little collection here of what I had made. Let me go ahead and show what I still have remaining. I did not do anything with this. Let me see if I can get some better light in here. I did not really use number 7 out of the bag. I used a bunch of these little itty bitty ones that are 2mm natural apatite gemstone round beads. They were kind of a little bit hard to work with. You had to have a small enough, either like a wire or a head pin for these to go on. They did crack really easily, but I was able to use quite a few of them, although I did have a lot of casualties with that. Let me see here. Very bad shadowing here. Okay, I always film these at nighttime, and it's like I don't have a good light in my room. I have a few of these left. This was number 21 for anyone that has this set. I just love the natural, almost like earth tone colors in here, like the oranges and the white and the different shades of teal. And those are just gorgeous. I did not use these, number 12. They have just a touch of like gold in there, and these are, let me see what these are called. They're just called porcelain oval beads. They're very beautiful, so I definitely do plan to use those. I think those would go really nicely with those beads there. Number 20 was these little fan pendants or connectors or something. I'm not crazy about these, so I probably will not be using those. I might like give them to somebody. I don't know. My mom might even enjoy those. These are gorgeous. I just haven't used any of them yet. Number 13. I used, okay, for some reason I have these in here. I'm not sure. Just random. Number 16, I did use most of those. I have a little bit of that left. This one I used up all of either 6 or 9. I never can tell what it is, but I used that up. This is number 5. And again, I'm not super crazy about these, but it might make some pretty earrings, so I might see if I can play around with that. Number 17 were these little drop beads, teeny tiny little beads. I used, I think, a few of them. I will see here in just a minute. And then there is this one pendant here, and it is a 25 by 15mm faceted Aqua Quartz teardrop pendant. That is absolutely gorgeous, so I do plan on doing something with that eventually. This baggie here is empty. It's number 8. Number 14, and there again, either 9 or 6. So I used both 6 and 9 up. And then here's all of these baggies that I emptied up. 19, number 1, number 2, number 3, 10, 15, and 18 are all used up. And I think that's all the baggies I have in here. Okay, so let me move all this stuff out of the way, and I will show what I made. Okay, not in any order. This is a little stretch bracelet that I made. I just happened to look on my table, and I found these cute little rose beads, and they were the perfect colors to use with these because they had a lot of, like I said, a lot of earth tones in here, darker green, it looks like, turquoise. Just very gorgeous, and I thought it went perfectly with that. And I just used some little spacer beads in between. And I love how the roses don't want to stay exactly the right direction, but when it's on your wrist, it does lay nicely. And I just thought that was so cute. I loved the way this bracelet looked. Thought it was very adorable and very quick to make, very simple, but cute. Okay, so there's that one. And now the reason I kind of did this video later than I had wanted to, I was waiting for some chain to come in. I had ordered some copper chain off of Amazon because I had created a little section here with these dagger beads and those little, I call them just bumpy spacer beads, and a lot of those really fine, like 2mm or turquoise beads. And I love this little piece right here. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. And I found this really delicate, it's actually much more delicate than I thought. You can see how tiny that chain is. Super tiny. But luckily it did come with its own jump rings and lobster clasps, so that I was able to, I knew that it would fit through the chain, because if I had to use jump rings that I have myself, it probably would not have fit through the chain. But I just used a crimp bead and crimp cover for the top. I did this little strand here, this little section on some flexible beading wire, and I love how that looks. I think it is so adorable. It has a little bit of a Egyptian flair to me. Just love the collars together. And I did not put any kind of dangle at the end of this because it is such a delicate chain. And I'm thinking about possibly taking out a little bit of the chain because it ended up being a slight bit longer than I really wanted it to be. But I still love the way it turned out. I think it's absolutely adorable. Okay, so there's that necklace. Okay, trying to see if I, oh, then this was just a little fun piece. It had these leaf beads in the kit, or in this month, in the February box. And these were from my stash, these bright, sparkly, I call them like peacock beads because they have all the collars that remind me of like peacock. And so I just took them, this was one strand from Hobby Lobby. I just strung them on elastic, and then I made all of these, just put each little leaf on a jump ring and strung them all on together right in a row, and then it just clumps up like that. I've never made a cluster bracelet or cluster anything, and so I thought that turned out so adorable. I'm in love with this bracelet. I love the collars. I'm not super like huge into blue, but these are my blue collars. They have all the different shades of teal and like turquoise, and it's a brighter blue. There is a little bit of more of like a midnight blue, but because they're so sparkly, they're just amazing. And I love that little cluster there of the leaves. To me, it reminds me of like a little peacock feather, kind of on their heads where they have like the little tufts of feathers that kind of stick up. I just thought that was adorable. Again, adorable. Love that bracelet. Okay. And then here is just a little fun stretch bracelet I made that I added just a couple of little charms to it. These were from my stash. I had this really pretty little bird charm, and then just added a little butterfly and just used some of the larger turquoise beads with the little teeny tiny matte beads in between, and some of the little small bead caps that came with the kit. Just a real fun little bracelet there. And I also just decided to do a tiny little ring, just a little fun little ring to just use up some smaller beads that were in the set. Let's see here. I was just playing with a little connector piece that I had forever in my stash. I just made a few little dangles at one side And then I used the clasp that came with the kit, a little toggle clasp, and those just hang down right there. And Anna, who is Serenity, I think it's either Serenity Creations or Serenity Crafts, I never can remember her name, is Anna. And shoot, I can't think of her last name right now, but she's an amazing crafter, does gorgeous jewelry pieces, and this was on her channel probably 3 or 4 years ago, and I happen to remember it, where she had used these like ID bracelets, or had made ID bracelets with these little pieces from Hobby Lobby. And so I just strung on some of the flexible beading wire, all of these pretty turquoise beads, and it matched perfectly. I've had this for a long time, and I just never made anything with it. And I absolutely am in love with this bracelet. Okay, now, this is just something, I haven't done anything with it yet. I loved that piece there, and I just kind of made a little long dangly piece. I don't know if I'm going to use it like on a necklace. I've got that real fine chain now, so I may just have it as like a long pendant necklace. And I just made a little section here with that one bead. If I can get it to show up here. It has sort of a purple tint to it when you turn it certain ways. But this is where I use those little drop beads. I just, shoot, it's not wanting to show up. You can see I put about 5 there onto a jump ring. And it just hangs down here. It's really cute. And I love this piece. I'd forgotten about making this. So now that I have that chain, I'll probably go ahead and turn it into a long flowy necklace. Okay, the next piece, if I can get this separated here, is a necklace. I love these clasps that came in the box this time around. Well, last month now. I've already got the March box, which Clover and Crown, if you happen to be watching this and you're still interested, I would definitely love to do that challenge with you with the March box, like you and Pirate Pretties did for the February box. But here is the clasp from the box last month. And I just made a little dangle for the end there, just so it has something pretty on the back of it. And then here is my piece that I made. I had to, of course, make a little teeny tiny, okay, I'm not getting this in here very well at all. Teeny tiny little dangle in the middle there. I took one of those really small, like 2mm beads, and I cannot get this to lay flat here. Let me see if I can zoom in. That might work out better instead of me trying to hold it. Okay, so yes, I just made a little wrap bead with that 2mm bead there, and I just alternated the blue bead with the little spacers all the way around, and I ended with one of the little 2mm beads up there, and then I just made dangles out of all those dagger beads, and I think it is so cool. I love how chunky it is, and it just makes a nice little jingle when you move it. Love that. Absolutely love this necklace. Of course, I say that about all my necklaces. Love them, love them, love them. And here's another necklace that I made. Again, I'll start with the end of it here. I love those beads. They're so beautiful. Sort of have a different tones of like teal and purple, and just they change colors like when they hit the light. Love them. And this is from, I think, my stash. And I believe this is the chain that came with this with the kit. And then I just have this bottom section here with all of these gorgeous, there's those little like frosted beads there. And then I just made a drop section down here in the, so it kind of is like a V necklace sort of. These two pieces here just come together. And then this piece drops down from the middle. And I have this long flowy piece in the center here. Just added 3 dangles. Love that piece. Absolutely gorgeous. It's so ornate. Love how it looks. So I'm absolutely in love. I keep saying that with this necklace as well. And then there were these really pretty, let me see if I can find them on here. I I call them like tooth beads, but they're these big giant, what are they called actually? I say every month that I need to write down like what I made each project with. Okay. Let me find it. If I can find it. I guess, no, they're not daggers. Okay, I'm not even seeing it on here. But I just like to call them like tooth beads because they look like big giant fangs to me. These ones right here, there were 5 of them in the set, in the kit, and I just used a clear bead in between each of them and on each end of them just to kind of space them out so they weren't right up against each other. And then I just used one of the teeny little 2mm beads between each of these sort of frosted looking beads, I call them, and then just added the chain on the end. And I love how this one turned out as well. I think it's so pretty. And then on the end, I did not do a dangle on that one. And what else do I have down here? I have a bunch of earrings down here. These are just some fun little earrings I made with, again, with those 2mm beads. I didn't have really much trouble with those beads. I know a lot of people said they really didn't like them. They were hard to work with. I mean, mostly it was because they were hard to see the holes, and they were kind of difficult to find the holes on them. But I really love how they look on all the projects that I used them in. These earrings here, I just put, took different lengths of chain and then just did like 3, 5, and 7 of the beads and did the short, I think there's like maybe 2 lengths of chain for the one that has 7 beads, and just went up like 2 more lengths for the medium length, and then another 2 lengths of chain for this shortest piece that had the 3 beads, and just hung them off from the ear wire, and they really turned out super cute. Love how these look. That's probably my favorite pair of earrings of the ones that I've made. And I just have these cute little earrings here that go with one of the necklaces, and there's these cute little ones, and I just added the little tiny drop beads on the bottom there, and I think they turned out super adorable. Love those. Absolutely precious. And then I've got like so many of these beads or earrings that are just similar, but maybe just have some little tiny thing different. Well, after this one here goes with my I don't know if it goes with this necklace here, I believe. No, actually this one with the ornate piece here and the little daggers hanging down. And there is that pair of earrings. I think they turned out very beautiful. I love how they had the different shades of turquoise that were in this set, but they all went so well together. So these just go with that that necklace there. And now these last few earrings, like I said, they're kind of the same, but they're like different. There's maybe just one tiny little thing different about each of them. So let me try to find the ones that match. Okay. There we go. And that one goes, okay. So we start out, I've got 3 different pairs here that I kind of made. Okay. Let me pull one of them up here. These are they're very itty bitty earrings here. Okay, so here is this one, and I just, you can see that, use these teeny tiny little sort of frosted looking beads, and I just did a dangle down from the bottom of that, and then I added a couple of those little drop beads on the bottom with the little dangle there. Just very dainty little earrings. So there's that pair. Let me see. And then this next pair is a little bit different. I did use some more of those 2mm beads, just did 3 of them, and then the bead caps around those little, I think they're called, I'm not sure what they're called. They're not the Stardust textured, I don't think. Just really cute. I love how these turned out. And then I added 3 of the little drop beads at the bottom. So see, just a little bit slightly just slightly different. And then these last pair of earrings, just again, just very minor differences. Here are these. So instead of having the extra dangle at the bottom, I just did the drop beads. And there they are, just very tiny little pair of earrings. Let me go up a little bit so you can see all that I have here. Okay, so that is what I was able to make over the course of February. And I'm just now, like I say, getting around to doing this video because it's not been that long since I got my chain in from Amazon for me to finish up that one necklace, and just had so many other videos that I was in the, getting caught up last month from ice storms and flooding, and just, it was all a mess here in Kentucky for the whole month of February. I was glad when February ended. But I hope everyone had a nice, safe month of February, and now that we're into March, hopefully we'll be having much better weather. Today we actually made it up into the 70s, so that was super nice. Different than a month ago when it was not even breaking 25 degrees. Very big difference. But thank you so much, everyone, for stopping by. Which one, if you don't care to leave a comment down below, which one was your favorite piece? I would say this is my favorite piece. I just love the design, and I love it's got so much texture to it. It's just fun, and to me it just screams peacock. I love the feathers and all the sparkle and the teal, turquoise. Love those leaf beads. Love everything about that bracelet. And then when it's on your wrist, it just stands up there perfectly. So I think it's super fun. So just leave a comment down below. What is your favorite piece? Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Hope you all had a great day today, and I'll talk to you all later. Bye.